Does continue to rise. We do want to get you caught up on the latest numbers that we have. More than 2,500 lives lost in Israel and Gaza, including 25 Americans, 1,200 Israelis, 1,400 Palestinians. Many San Diegans wondering, how can we show support and help these people? Joining us live here to tell us more, the CEO of the Lawrence Family Jewish Community Center. We have Betsy Lynch. Betsy, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's a very difficult time, and of course the members of the JCC certainly impacted by this. So Betsy, if you could tell us, how has your community been impacted, first of all?
I'll say two things. That on October 7th, 2023, the Jewish world was changed forever. For every Jewish person living in San Diego and living across what we call the diaspora, which is everywhere outside of Israel and within Israel, have been affected by this, probably with one degree or less of separation from somebody that was brutally murdered, somebody that's missing, or somebody that was kidnapped.
Yeah, you're very connected to people in Israel, of course.
Very connected. And in particular, the region that was so deeply impacted has been the sister region of San Diego for 25 years. The kibbutzim that you are hearing about consistently on the news, Kfar Aza and Nachal Oz, are two communities in which San Diego has been supporting for over a generation.
Sister cities.
Yes, yeah.
And obviously there was a big loss there. The mayor, of course, we've covered his tragic death as well. I know you mentioned it during the vigil that was held Tuesday night. If you could tell us a little bit about him and your relationship.
I'd love to. 5,000 people gathered in support of our community, and we are so grateful. Many of whom were people of other faiths and no faith, and to stand with us and stand with Israel felt like one of the most powerful things that our community can do to help the Jewish community at this moment. I lost my dear friend Ophir Lipstein, who was the mayor of Sha'ar HaNegev. Ophir died trying to defend his kibbutz, and his family was targeted. He lost his mother-in-law, his nephew, and his son was brutally injured and is now missing. Ophir was light to the world, and he led from a place of knowing that the way to create a better life for the people that lived in what they call the Gaza envelope was to create a better life, not only for Israelis, but also for the people living in Gaza. And he was working behind the scenes and through systems and breaking systems and doing things in order to empower both those in Gaza as well as Israelis, to have everyone to have a better life, because he grew up at a time in which there was free passage to Gaza, and he could remember having friends and knowing that. He's gone, and it is now my responsibility and the responsibility of Jewish leaders around the world to carry his legacy and to recognize that there are innocent people living in Gaza that are deeply affected by the terror of Hamas. And yet it is vital that we understand that the events that happened on Saturday and Sunday were not the conflict of the conflicts of the past. This was a massacre of Jewish people, much in the way of the pogroms that led to the Holocaust. And so as a community, what we appreciate so much is for people of other faiths and that might not know the full lexicon of this conflict and its history to know that this moment in time is not like every other moment in time.
Okay, I know that was a big issue. Obviously, there's so much history here, and it gets complicated. But right now, obviously, the Jewish faith, war and murder are clearly not what anybody wants. And at this point, there is, the retaliation that needs to happen to try to stop Hamas, and innocent lives are caught up in all of this. Any messages for people that are watching here at home who are really torn by all of this?
I want to say that the hardest part, really, about being Jewish and also about being human is being able to hold multiple truths at the same time. My humanity does not wish ill for any innocent person that is living in Gaza. And yet, my dearest friends and their families were brutally murdered on Shabbat on Simchat Torah, which is one of the most festive holidays of the Jewish life. And so what I would say to San Diegans is please, please, check your news, get Israeli sources, get English language sources, make sure that you can see all sides of this issue. In addition, support the humanity and the moral clarity that is needed for Israel to have the right not only to defend itself, but to do what needs to be done to rid this terror from not only Israel, but also for the innocent people in Gaza that do not support Hamas.
Betsy, I know we are out of time here, but this conversation continuing right now on the web. If you could please tell us, how can people help? How can people support these many victims of war?
Please go to jewishinsandiego.org and you can financially give, as well as writing letters of support. They can be dropped off at the Lawrence Family Jewish Community Center, and we will send them to Israel. Okay.